everyone. It's Dr. Erin here, one of the good doctors of Abbey Research. Happy Monday, April 6th. And I'm here with today's Good Doctors Diagnose. And I think for a while, we're going to try and make these as relevant to the current business situation as possible, which means a lot of us are in very, very different work environments and work cultures than we're used to because of the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. And so originally I was gonna talk about the kind of need for different physical spaces for introverts within a traditional office setting. But since a lot of us aren't in traditional office settings, I thought I'd spend a few minutes just talking about what your introverted colleagues could need and could be going through if they are now working remotely and working from home. And it's worth bearing in mind that even if you have employees, maybe some more introverted employees that work from home, work remotely regularly before this crisis unfolded, it's not the same kind of remote work that it was, right? We're all under a lot of emotional stress. Our kids are home when they're not usually home, all of these kinds of considerations. Perhaps our partner or our spouse is also home during this time. And so it's not the same as just having a remote worker that you would have had 3 or 4 months ago. So that's important to remind yourself as you're thinking about the needs that your remote workers might have during this crisis. But particularly for introverts, we tend to be more suited or better suited for remote work because we like to work usually on our own. We like to work in environments where we can control the level of stimulation, the sights, the sounds, the interruptions, the lighting, all of those kinds of things. Which for those of us that work remotely most of the time, I have a pretty controlled environment, thankfully, in my office. But a lot of introverts who maybe have been forced into remote working because of this crisis might not have all of the needs that or might not have all of the resources that they need. And so one of the ways that I think managers and leaders can think about their introverted colleagues is to check in with them regularly, make sure that if possible, at all possible, they're able to find a work environment that's best for them. And if they can't, for whatever reason, bear that in mind. We're all adjusting expectations and staying flexible as this situation continues. And as we spend longer and longer working remotely and working from home. But it's important to remember that particularly if they can't control the stimulation, the interruptions, the noise level, the work environment that they're in, that as this situation goes on, that's going to have a prolonged impact on our introverted colleagues and our extroverted colleagues in a different way. Extroverts tend to be attracted to work environments where there's constant stimulation, where they're engaging with a lot of different people, where they have opportunities to share their ideas and work problems out with other people as opposed to working on their own on projects. So if you have extroverted colleagues or employees that you're managing and they might be at home alone, working as best they can, bear that in mind as well and try and integrate different ways to deal with their personality traits and what their needs might be. We're all doing the best we can on any given day, but it's important to consider, especially as we navigate this changing world of working from home and trying to figure out how we can still go about our business if we can at all as we're staying home and staying safe. So think about your employees' personalities and what type of work environment they might work best in, and whether or not that's something they've been able to achieve at home or wherever they are able to work remotely, and just do the best that you can to support them in finding the most optimal work environment possible given the circumstances. So that's everything I have for today's Good Doctors Diagnose. We'll be back on Wednesday with a pop culture video for you. Take care, everybody. Stay safe and be well.